worlds that we build, and for a brief weekend, right, we get to connect.
The Hordes have returned for Blizzcon here in Anaheim.
You know, we couldn't do anything that we do without the support of our players.
We are excited as hell.
When we first started it, we really didn't realize would people even want to come to a convention hall in Anaheim and come to this event.
I think for the first time, we really felt like we were part of something much bigger.
We do have people that travel from all over the world.
Players from over 60 different countries coming in.
There's this surreal realization of the diversity.
It's so much bigger than you are and bigger than we are.
It's really about the things that are exciting or passionate, shared interests, a shared experience.
Oh, hell yeah!
Costume contest. That one is always one that we always love to watch.
A highlight for me is always the StarCraft 2 Grand Finals. Watching a full hall with cheers and moans, and it's like the best thing ever.
Things about BlizzCon, you walk around and everybody's owning their fandom, they're owning their geekiness, and they're owning their passions about this stuff, and it just makes you just free to geek out at that level yourself.
And this is many times the first opportunity for people to meet each other in real life.
You know, people, I met my wife at BlizzCon, crazy, you know.
Will you marry me?
What's really exciting about BlizzCon is bringing the players together with each other, and it's bringing the developers together with the players.
There's nothing more important for us than making sure we're making the best, most engaging games in the world. There's no better way to do that than talking with our players, interacting with our players.
I definitely hope that, you know, Red Shirt Guy takes it easy on me. That'd be nice. Go out of your way to stop and say hey and just meet people.
Do something and see something that maybe you haven't had the opportunity to be exposed to before.
Doing that and seeing the magic that comes from it is what makes BlizzCon epic.
And I want to encourage you all to show them who you are and have fun this weekend. We're going to be having fun right with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President and CEO of Blizzard Entertainment, Mike Morhaime.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to BlizzCon 2013. I have been looking forward to this weekend for a long time. It is so great to be back here with all of you. I've missed you guys. That video brought back a lot of great memories for me. As we look back over the years at what makes BlizzCon so special, it's really all about you. It's about your passion as a community. It's the amazing costumes you create and wear. It's cheering for your favorite esports athletes. It's meeting in person with friends who share a common love for games. It's the simple joy of playing those games together and talking about them with other passionate people. That's what BlizzCon is all about. We originally created Blizzard with a simple idea, that if we gathered together talented and passionate gamers and made games that we ourselves were excited to play, that many of you would also enjoy our games. 22 years later, it turns out we were right. So I want to thank all of you here today and everyone watching at home for your many years of support for Blizzard and our games. BlizzCon is our way of saying thank you. Thank you for making our dreams a reality. Thank you for your support, because without it, we really couldn't do what we do. Through the many years of Blizzard's growth, I have learned that making great quality games consistently is the hardest thing to do. It comes together because we're inspired each day by each other and by you, our extended family. Our passion and excitement for the games and this community is still going strong. So I encourage you to see for yourselves. Meet and chat with us and each other through the panels, at the tournaments, and around the game areas. You'll see that you're among family. So from everyone at Blizzard, thank you for being here and welcome home. Can you believe this is our 7th Blizzcon? So much has changed since that first show back in 2005. Back then, we only took up about half the convention center. We only sold about 4,000 tickets, and the show wasn't televised. This weekend, all of this space is for us. There are more than 20,000 of you here, and countless more watching on DirecTV and online. I want everyone here to give a big cheer to all of your friends watching at home. We have a great show planned for you. Jay Moore is back. Jay will be hosting the community contests, which always prove to be a highlight of BlizzCon. We've got a new contest this year, too, in the talent show, to go along with the costume, movie, and art contests. You can watch all of that right here on the main stage tonight. Do we have any esports fans here? All right. Esports is one of my personal favorite parts of BlizzCon, and there's some great competition lined up this weekend. We have an invitational tournament for World of Warcraft with some of the best arena teams in the world. We also have the global finals for the StarCraft II World Championship Series. Hundreds of StarCraft II pro gamers have been competing for the past 8 months in 3 leagues, one here in America, one in Europe, and one in Korea. They've been competing for a spot at this weekend's grand final. And now, the best of the best are here, the top 16 StarCraft II players in the world. But only one of them will leave as world champion. Let's take a look at a short video to get us in the mood.
I'm so thrilled to be here on this final day. The top 16 WCS points earners of the season go to the BlizzCon finals. He blinks into the melee! Oh God, pushing this back here! He's gonna kill off MVP here! Oh, he kills off the Mothership Core! He is everywhere! Really, really nicely placed there. Is he gonna get the immortal? Oh, he gets that as well! Oh my God, huge side mule right down! The mule is being absolutely shredded! Amazing connections on the mind. If he loses this game, he is out.
Eight months of competition have all come down to this weekend. This is going to be a great way for us to close out 2013, a year in which we launched Heart of the Swarm and celebrated the 15th anniversary of StarCraft. Of course, we also have some upcoming games for you to check out at the show. The expansion for Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls, is here, and it's playable on both PC and PlayStation 4. You'll get to check out the new Crusader class and explore Westmarch. Tell us what you think and be sure to attend the panels for more info about the expansion. Before I move on, I want to say a few more words about Diablo. As you know, the development team has worked hard to add new features and make ongoing updates and tweaks to the game. But the biggest change is yet to come. 2 months ago, we announced that we're getting rid of the auction house. When we originally mapped out the overall game experience, it made sense to us that an item-based game should have an easy way to trade. But the auction house came with unintended consequences. The auction house took away the joy of finding that awesome weapon after killing tons of demons, or finding that hidden legendary armor in a treasure chest. That shouldn't have happened, but we're going to make it right, and we're not going to stop there. As we revealed at Gamescom, Reaper of Souls is bringing major changes to the loot system to give you more satisfying and more rewarding loot drops. We're also adding new endgame options to make things even more fun and replayable. Our goal with Diablo 3 remains unchanged, to make the ultimate monster killing and loot collecting RPG. All right, World of Warcraft players, where are you? I haven't forgotten about you guys, was just saving you for last. I want to thank all of you guys for making Mists of Pandaria such a successful launch last year. You're going to hear about our plans for the game very soon. You're also going to hear about the Warcraft movie. Duncan Jones is here, the director of the Warcraft movie. And he'll be joined by Chris Metzen and Rob Pardo at the Warcraft movie panel, which will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. right here on the main stage. Don't miss that one. There's a ton of other stuff for you to see and do this weekend. We've got more panels, lots of attractions and activities. We also have some incredible live entertainment to close out the show tomorrow. Southern California's very own Blink 182 is here. So check your schedules, and if you haven't already, download the Blizzcon mobile app for iPhone and Android to help plan out your weekend. I know a lot of you have come here to meet with friends that you've made through Blizzard games, but I also hope that many of you make new friends this weekend. All of us here are here to celebrate a hobby that we truly love. For us at Blizzard, BlizzCon is a way for us to connect directly with all of you. As developers, we feed off the energy and excitement that you bring here. And we take that back with us to work and use it as inspiration and fuel as we work on our games. One of the things we love the most about BlizzCon is giving you a chance to be the first in the world to see and play our newest games. Your feedback will shape how these games are made. With that said, we do have a couple of new things to show you this weekend. To get things started, one of our game directors, Dustin Browder, will be coming on next to talk about Heroes of the Storm. But first, let's check out a little video. Thank you, and enjoy BlizzCon.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Game Director and Vice President of StarCraft 2 and Heroes of the Storm, Dustin Browder.
Wow, BlizzCon. Heroes of the Storm is an homage to all of the amazing games that our players have created inside our editors for many, many years. We have a long history at Blizzard of shipping our tools, our technology, and our art to our players so you can become the developer. You can make amazing games of your own. And we have been blown away by the games you have made. Our communities have helped to create the tower defense genre, a whole genre of games that's gone on to take on the world. Our community helped create this hero brawler genre that has gone on to just conquer all of gaming. So when we had a chance to make one of these games our own, we really couldn't resist. Back in 2010, we had an assignment to make one map for BlizzCon to show you how our tools worked, how good they could be, the amazing kinds of games you could create inside StarCraft 2. So we made this map that would become one day Heroes of the Storm, and we brought it to BlizzCon. And we showed it to you guys, and you guys stood in line for hours to play this game. And you gave us amazing feedback. You told us the game was awesome, and you told us really great ways how we could make the game better. So we got pretty geeked up about that. We went back to the office, and we worked on the game for another year, and we brought the game back in 2011 again. And we showed it, and again, you stood in line for hours to play it. And you told us, this game is awesome. You got to do more with this. And we took the game back to the studio, and everybody in the studio said, this is really cool. You guys got to do more with this game. And so here we are now, in 2013, with Heroes of the Storm. And that's why this game has changed its name a couple of times over the years. Because it was at one point just a map. And that's all it needed to be. It had to have a name suitable for that. And as we've taken it from BlizzCon to BlizzCon to BlizzCon, our expectations for the game have grown, your expectations for the game have grown, and now we're finally here today. And now, I'd like to show you a video of how Heroes of the Storm plays in its alpha version today.
Prepare for combat.
Heroes of the Storm is Blizzard the game. It is a combination of all of our heroes, all of our villains brought together in a single battle to the death. You're going to be able to play as Arthas, as Kerrigan, as Diablo, as all of the heroes and villains you've come to know over the last many, many years. Many of these heroes are 10, 15 years old. They've got their own comic books. They've got their own novels. They've got their own cinematics. They've got their own games with their epic storylines all built in. But it's not just enough for us to just pay homage to the game and the games that our players have created. We've got to do something more. We've got to provide you with new challenges. We've got to challenge this genre and show you what it can become. So one of the ways we're going to do this is with our battlegrounds. And these are not just maps. These are all worlds with their own characters and their own ways to play. So we're going to take you to Blackheart's Bay. And on Blackheart's Bay, you're going to collect cursed treasure, and you're going to deliver it to an evil pirate lord. And when you give him enough treasure, he's going to join you, however briefly, and turn the cannons of his ghostly pirate ship on your enemies. You're going to go deep underground on a whole other battleground to the haunted mines. And you're going to go and collect the skulls of fallen warriors. And you're going to take those skulls back to the surface. And you're going to combine them with dark necromantic magic and create a grave golem, this massive creature that's going to charge across the battlefield, destroying enemy castles and fortifications. On a whole other battleground, we're going to take you to the Dragonshire. And there you will discover the obelisk of the sun and the obelisk of the moon. And when you capture these, you'll open up the ancient dragon altar. And then you can choose one hero from your team, your chosen champion, and you can send him to the dragon altar where he'll be transformed into the Dragon Knight, an unstoppable demigod that will slay any hero foolish enough to stand in his way. All of this is playable today at Blizzcon. We have hundreds of machines for you to play this game. We've got ways for you to give us feedback. There's hundreds of developers scattered throughout this hall who would love to hear from you how we can make this game better. We have an overview panel today on this stage at 4:45. We have a deep dive tomorrow at 1:30 in Hall A, followed by a live shoutcasted match where the game developers are going to battle to the death in Heroes of the Storm for your amusement. Finally, the beta signups for Heroes of the Storm are going live today. So you can sign up for our beta, you can play the game, give us your feedback, and you'll be able to help create Blizzard's next big game. Now, before I go, I want to say that this game wouldn't be here without BlizzCon. When we came to BlizzCon, we were inspired by the art hanging on the walls, by the banners that shows all of these characters together, and we thought, wow, those are all really cool games. What if they were one game? How cool would that be? And we were inspired by you guys. You guys gave us the encouragement, you gave us the feedback, you gave us the will to go on over the many years where this is just one map until now it's its own original game. So I'd like to say, from everybody at Blizzard, thank you, BlizzCon. Thank you for helping to create Heroes of the Storm. Sorry, I forgot. I'd like to introduce the Chief Creative Officer of Blizzard Entertainment, Rob Pardo.
Dear Lord, there are a lot of people here. I think way off in the distance, it actually starts to fog out like a video game. Well, I'm up here today to talk to you guys about a little game called Hearthstone. So, I don't know if you guys know this, but actually Hearthstone was kind of a stealth project at Blizzard. You know, for a lot of its development, it was kind of very quiet, and it was experimental. we wanted to see if we could take a small team and kind of go back to the old days of Blizzard and still create an epic Blizzard game, but with a small team. And there was actually a lot of skepticism, especially with the genre that we chose to do, because a lot of people, even at Blizzard, were like, card battling games, those are pretty nerdy and geeky. Is that really going to, appeal to a big, broad audience? So what happened? So we had this fun moment at Blizzard, actually, which happened in last year. I think it was in September last year. And what happened was we did our in-company alpha. And this is something we do for a lot of our products. And we asked the whole company, hey, play the build. And what we usually have to do is we have to let people do that on the clock, because otherwise they'd rather do other work. The games usually aren't quite that much fun yet in alpha. But what we found was we had this playing for 3 weeks. And during that time period, people are staying late, after hours, trying to play the game more. And during that 3-week time period, we had over 5,000 hours played. Yeah, so that's actually when we knew we had a really special game and we had a true Blizzard game. And we were super excited this year when we announced it at PAX, and obviously we got it out to beta, to I'm sure a lot of people here are playing, and the response has just been amazing. Watching the streams, watching the players, getting the feedback. I mean, it's really been super gratifying. And Hearthstone represents several firsts for Blizzard, too. Along with being experimental, it's our first free-to-play game. It's our first tablet game. And also, it happens to be the first game in a really long time that we announced and got out to the public in the same year. So, all right, so how many of you guys are actually playing Hearthstone now? How many of you are not in the beta yet? Wow, less than I thought. But good news, all of you that are not in the beta yet, we are going into open beta next month. But in Blizzard speak, that might mean January. Just warning you now. So here at BlizzCon, we have Hearthstone all over the place. So we have stations where you can play the game on PC, and also if you go to the Intel booth, we have the game on tablet, which you really should go and check out. We also are having a Hearthstone exhibition tournament that includes some popular community personalities like Day9 and Husky and Kriparian. So make sure to check it out tomorrow morning at the tournament stage in Hall B. All right. So I have more good news for all the people here that are Hearthstone fans that are attending BlizzCon. And this is both for people that are here in person and on the virtual ticket. So we have a special card that only attendees are going to receive. So the team had to think for a long time. They really wanted to come up with a special card that really said BlizzCon. So I think they came up with a really great one. So I want to show you guys the Elite Tauren Chieftain. So I'll show you guys more in a second, but I want to explain a little bit how he plays. The Elite Tauren Chieftain, when you drop him onto the board, he really announces his authority like a rock star. And what will happen is he has 3 different power chord cards that are all they're different and custom, have different effects. And he'll deal 1 to each player. So it's kind of this fun sort of random card, really definitely says BlizzCon. And all the BlizzCon attendees are getting the golden version of the card, which you can kind of see behind me. And I'm going to show you guys what he actually looks like in gameplay, too, because the team, they keep on doing more and more golden cards and cool animations, special effects, and every one just seems to be better than the last one that they've done. So I'll show you guys what this one looks like. So if you guys have been playing the beta, you've probably seen a lot of golden cards. We've been adding to them in the beta as soon as we can make them, and it's really our intention to have all the cards have a golden version. It's a really fun collectible element. It's really fun getting the cool special effects. But I'm sure, probably it may have occurred to a lot of you that if we have all these golden cards, why aren't we doing golden versions of the heroes themselves? So I'm here to tell you guys today that that's exactly what we're working on. We're working on versions of the golden heroes. So the way that the golden heroes are going to work is you're going to actually earn them in the new ranked play mode. And I'll show you kind of an early version of what their animations are going to look like. So you can see they're going to be fully animated just like the golden cards themselves. And what will happen is in the new ranked play mode that we're creating right now, you'll be able to earn those. And you'll be able to unlock each class one at a time. So with the ranked play mode, we know that a lot of you have really loved the arena mode. And our goal has really been to make a ranked play mode that's just as much fun as arena mode and really makes constructed play really rewarding. So make sure that you come to this hall at 2:15 today and see the design team, because they're going to talk a lot more ranked play mode, golden heroes, and all the other stuff that's coming out in Hearthstone. But, oh yeah, I have actually one more piece of Hearthstone news, though. A lot of you guys, I know, have maybe heard about the tablet version but haven't got to see it yet. So at Blizzard, a lot of us actually prefer to play it on tablet. And unfortunately, there's just no easy way to put that out in a beta test. But once you play the tablet version, you can play on the couch. A lot of people at Blizzard, that's what they like to do. But I also know that not everyone actually has tablets. So we want to announce another platform that we're actually working on, which is the iPhone version. What? So both the iPhone and the Android version are in development right now at Blizzard. It's still really early on, but we're hoping to have them out probably in the second half of next year. So Hearthstone isn't the only news that's going on in the Warcraft universe. Can you guys actually believe we're going to have a Warcraft movie? Honestly, I can't believe it. We started this thing back in 2006, and that's a long product development schedule even for us. So like Mike mentioned, we're super excited to have the director of the movie out here at Blizzcon, Duncan Jones. So he's going to be here tomorrow. And we also are going to have Bill Westenhofer on the panel also. He's the special effects supervisor, and he's actually an Oscar award-winning special effects supervisor that did Life of Pi and Golden Compass. And more importantly, he's played World of Warcraft all the way from the beginning and has a level 90 character. So, but when I really look at Hearthstone and I think about like the Warcraft movie, it's like just how far we've all come together in this franchise and, all in front of you guys. And it's really humbling. It's hard to believe it, but this month is going to be World of Warcraft's 9th birthday. Personally, I've actually been, I've been working on or playing World of Warcraft most of my adult life. And it kind of makes me think back to how I got my start. I think a lot of game designers around my age, my generation, we got our start in a very similar sort of way. We would have our first game design experience actually playing Dungeons & Dragons. And, as a dungeon master, I really learned early on that it's not just about creating experiences for your players. It's really about taking that journey with them and really having, that entertainment experience as a partnership that you really take on together. So I just thought, thinking about those old days and just thinking about World of Warcraft the same way, maybe we could look back on some of the journeys that we've all taken together. So does anyone here know what the first battleground was in World of Warcraft? Well, the thing was, it wasn't actually designed as a battleground. It was in the Hillsbrad foothills. You know, the epic battles between South Shore and Terran Mill. And, you know, I remember back in those days when I was a orc shaman and all I wanted to do was get to my flight master. And just seeing him dead and realize, Alliance scum again. So, you know, another thing that I think really brings back a lot of memories is maybe our first raid together against the Black Dragon in Nixia. And back then, you know, it's, you raided with 40 players, 40 of your closest friends and guildies. You know, it's kind of a mess. And probably the worst thing you would hear in guild chat is more whelps. Or what about, do you guys remember the first time that you could actually go through the dark portal? You know, and we really wanted to make that this epic, majestic experience. And for us to be able to go through that together, and it was also the first time that we had flying mounts, and you could actually fly over the lands of Outland. Of course, I think maybe we should have thought a little more carefully about the ramifications in PvP, where we introduced the whole concept of a swoop and gank. Sorry about that. All right, so I have another question for you guys. How many of you were there the day on your realm when the gates of Encourage opened? You know, this is like the most epic world event in World of Warcraft history. The only problem was, as game designers, it didn't really occur to us it might not be the right idea to have everyone on a realm go to the exact same place at the same time. And I just want to apologize in front of all of you to our server engineers for not consulting with them first. All right, but you know, last but not least, I think another kind of fun event to talk about was, I think, the first pandemic in virtual world history when we introduced Zul Garou. Who could forget the corrupted blood debuff and trying to go into Ironforge and everything was desolate? I think this might be the only MMO event that has its own Wikipedia entry. But that's the thing, though. As developers, like even when we mess up, you know, we're able to kind of create these memories that as a community we share together. You know, and that's one of the things that I love about BlizzCon itself, is that it creates these shared memories, because all of you remember all these memories for yourselves with your guild on your realm, but when you come to BlizzCon, you can talk about how it happened on your server or on your server. And it's something, and we share these experiences just like back in the day with Dungeons & Dragons. And that's like one of my favorite things about BlizzCon, is really getting to meet people that are in the community and players, and really be a player like you guys and be able to talk about these events and share these events. But I actually think my absolute favorite part of BlizzCon is watching all these players within the community that have all these virtual relationships and guilds and friendships. But when you come to BlizzCon, you get to sometimes meet each other for the first time and create lifelong friendships. And I think that's one of the things that's really special about BlizzCon. So on behalf of everyone at Blizzard, I want to thank all of you for letting us be your Dungeon Master all these years. But I don't want you to think that the journey's over yet. So I want to welcome to the stage my creative partner for many, many years, to introduce to you the next chapter in World of Warcraft. So please give a huge ovation for Chris Metzen.
Yes and yes. Goodness gracious, guys, it is awesome to be back here again with you this year. And I'm going to apologize up front as usual. I'm totally peaked. It is going to be okay. You know, as Rob was saying, it is such an amazing time to be part of this thing called Warcraft. With the feature film in development, it's really good. At long last, with the debut of Hearthstone and all the ongoing development, you know, that we're normally doing on the game, oh boy, this is one of those moments. Yeah, Geek is forgetting your lines. With all of these things in development, we have been thinking a lot about Warcraft, about what makes it tick, what makes it distinct. What is it about it after all these years, coming up on almost 19 years, we've been working on this thing? What keeps us coming back to it? What keeps it fresh for us? Oh, thank you. We've been thinking a lot about the early days. How many of you were around and with us during the events of Orcs and Humans? Really? All right. Tides of Darkness. And Beyond the Dark Portal. Guys, these original games, like this original trilogy of RTS games, it's where it kind of all comes from. It's where the DNA of Warcraft has always come from. The events of those games, the characters, the storylines, the places they went to really predicate everything that's happening in the modern era of WoW. In many ways, they're kind of like the origin points for your factions. Alliance, you here? Horde, where you at? Hey, Horde, check it out. Just because you guys went and got yourselves a troll as a new war chief, it doesn't mean I ain't with you. Many miles to go. So as we're thinking about all those moments, all of the adventure that came back in the day, and I love to hear that many of you actually played those games, you kind of stop to consider that there is a huge amount of World of Warcraft players that never lived those events, never met those characters, never really engaged with those storylines or that part of the adventure. And, you know, as we start thinking about where Warcraft goes, what are we doing? What are we working on? How are we pushing forward with this ongoing adventure? Man, you know, a lot of that content sure makes the wheels turn. And ultimately, as many of you probably know, the modern story of Warcraft really begins about 30 years ago. 30 game years. Ain't that old. When some knucklehead decided it would be a really good idea to open a dark portal between Azeroth and this dark, savage world called Draenor. And through that portal came an army of brutal, demon-pumped savages that took the world right to the edge. Led by characters like Red T-shirt guy. Damn it, not him. Led by characters like Blackhand and Kilrog, Ner'zhul, Gul'dan, Hellscream. Some of the baddest dudes ever in the Warcraft franchise. These guys almost had their way. They almost conquered the entirety, then of the Eastern Kingdoms. And boy, if they had, history would have taken a very different turn. If not for the most unlikely thing happening. The races of Azeroth. Humans, we got any humans in the room? It's kind of a weird question to ask. Dwarves, where are you at? Sons of Cosmodan. We don't have any high elves in the room. High elf cosplayers? couple. Gnomes, where you at? Come on, we secretly love you. It's complicated. The various cultures of Azeroth, who were never fast friends. There was no love lost between them. They had no common heritage. They had no common history. They really didn't like each other down this stretch of years. But in the face of this onslaught, in response to these badass orc leaders, they came together. And they founded a union based on honor and righteousness and a deep-seated drive to dispense indiscriminate justice upon those who threaten their homelands. This alliance saved the world. Alliance, do you remember who you are? You are the Alliance of Lordaeron, champions of justice. And I love you for it. Damn it, you're the Captain America faction. And I love you for that. So what a trip. All those years, fictional, from then to now. Especially concluding or including the events of the Siege of Orgrimmar. Alliance, do you get it yet? You remain the world's standing superpower. How does that feel? Don't worry, Horde. There is honor to be served. Loktar. So when you think about all that history and all that context, or when we think about it, a really interesting question comes to mind. We asked ourselves, well, what if those dark days could come again? What if a pantheon of the most vicious and in the face of that, Alliance, how would you respond now? There was a few suggestions. Can you guys repeat? I didn't. I know how you'd respond. With righteousness and honor. Weapons primed. The conflict to come, I believe, will be the Alliance's finest hour. The dark days ahead will test you. Your values, your ethics, how do you fight a savage enemy without remorse, without becoming savage yourself? It's a good question. And Horde. Horde, you're here, right? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Much better. Horde, you've taken some lumps lately, and not just from the Alliance. You had to live with the disappointment of Thrall's choices. I'd apologize for him, but we don't speak anymore. You had to live with the consequence of Garrosh's reign of terror. And you had a bunch of gnomes and elves running through the streets of your city. I can't imagine you enjoyed that a lot. But in the face of all that, Horde, under the leadership of Vol'jin, you have a chance, right on. You have a chance at a new start. A chance to redefine yourselves in this brave new world. But as is often true. To forge a brighter future, sometimes you must confront the ghosts of the past. And I believe in the adventure to come, Horde, there will be honor to be served, and there will be asses to be kicked. There will be much heroism for all. So, are you guys ready? Are you with me, BlizzCon? Let's get this thing done. Friends, champions, fellow defenders of Azeroth, Blizzard is proud to present to you the next expansion set for World of Warcraft. We call it Warlords of Draenor. Oh, hell yeah! Right back to the start, kinda. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that announcement. I imagine you have a lot of questions. We have a lot of answers. Don't worry, it all makes sense. So, guys, again, thank you for being here with us this weekend. You'll never know what a thrill this is for us to be here with you and to share these games. Have fun this weekend. Take care of each other, have a blast. And if you have more questions, by the way, about Warlords of Draenor, I just love saying it. We're gonna have a panel at 12:30 on this stage. The dev team is gonna explain the whole giddy up to you. So come back at 12:30 if you're interested. And at the end of the day, welcome to BlizzCon!